Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Anyways, welcome back to Mason's Manifesto. So it's currently Saturday night at 9:44. A few days late. So, this episode, I'm literally just gonna, I feel like there's so much updates, and I just want to, talk to you guys, and I just want to be, ethical and just smart girl era today in this podcast. So, first thing I want to bring up is why TikTok decided to copyright everything, because be so for real right now. Be so for real. I'm just a little bit confused on why we're doing that, because I'm not hating the edit audios, the thirst traps to Mozart, because, I love that, but, why are we copywriting? I'm just a little bit confused, it's a music app, why are we copywriting? And I just find that a little silly, and, I really just don't like that. So, yeah. But before I get into the stuff, I posted, even though, no one replied, I had posted, what you guys want me to talk about. I think I took a screenshot of it. Okay, so Aubrey said Doja Cat. Oh, okay, so Doja Cat's, one of those artists where I love her music. It's just so catchy. It hits so hard. Did she become, a little bit, I don't know if Scientology got her or not, but I like to separate the art from the artist when it comes to music, like Kanye. I like to separate their art from the artist, because I just cannot not listen to her music. Her music is so good. It's not like Starbucks and, boycotting that. It's just, different. Because, you can't, it's not like you're separate, it's different. So I love Doja Cat. Her music is so, it just hits so hard. I just love it so much. So, yeah. But, oh, I'm so tired, guys. I've never been this tired. I've just been, constantly just, sleeping. I'm the type of person to where, the less sleep I get, the better I feel. But it's, I can't even stay up. I just don't know. I've just been tired. My body, my brain. I just want to, not. And it's so weird because I don't do anything. So it's why am I acting like this? She really thinks she's the main character. What are we doing? So, Abigail said, opinions on foot fetish. That's, I don't know how to feel about that. I hate feet. I hate them so much. When people do it as a joke, I kind of get scared. I really get scared. Feet are so nasty. They're literally just so nasty. Ugh, it's just nasty. And, oh my god, sorry, I cannot multitask. I'm, trying to log into things, and then, yeah. Anyways, so, what was I doing? Sorry, I'm just, I, can't pay attention when I'm doing multiple things, sorry. When, little, when parents, do, they're oh my gosh, their feet are so cute. Immediately no. Why are you kissing up on a... I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if they're age 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I don't care how many months, I don't care how many years. I'm sorry, do not be kissing on anyone's feet. I don't care if they're your brother, your sister, your significant other. I don't care if it's your child. No. Because you don't know where those feet have been. Those feet have been walking across this earth for whatever. No. And walking across that dirty all floor, I know that y'all don't mop at your dirty all house, and then you're going up and kissing your feet? Immediately no. And then y'all be getting sores on your mouth the next day. Asking why I got mono. That's almost as bad as going around and kissing the whole school. Please, don't be sucking on nobody's toes, kissing nobody's feet, or doing nothing. I mean, hey, if that's your thing, still don't do it. that's just a kink we need to cut out. Just no. I really don't find, like, there's parts of people's bodies that people find attractive, and I can agree with a lot of them, but feet is where I draw the line. The line, I just don't like feet. They're so nasty. Like, I hate feet. Like, they're so nasty. And, like, sure, I guess I can say, like, oh, you have cute feet. No, feet aren't cute in general. Like, ew. Like, you thought you beat that up. Like, ew, it's just nasty. Like, I'm not saying I stare at people's feet. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, if you have your feet out, I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's so nasty. But, like, just feet in general is just nasty. Oh, it's just nasty. Anyways, so, after that, sorry guys. It's February, so happy Black History Month, y'all. I feel like, okay, so, Black History Month. I don't know how to feel about it at my age, because I feel like it's, especially while you're in high school and, like, beyond that, it's like, oh my god, I'm so tired, like, why are you yawning? You literally did nothing today, like, why are you yawning? Like, I literally hate myself. Anyways, so, Black History Month is so, like, I don't understand why it's so controversial. Like, it is, but it isn't. In my eyes, I think it's hard for me to, like, I feel like it's just not celebrated as it should be. And I feel like it should be talked a lot more within, like, classes, because, like, especially history classes, because, oh my god, if I yawn one more time, I'm actually gonna end the podcast. I'm actually gonna just, no, like, I'm literally just gonna turn out the window, because what? Anyways, just, I don't know. I've, like, as a kid, I never really, like, you always in, like, elementary school, got, like, we had a dream speech, like, all that, and, like, but as a kid, I never really embraced, like, my black side, so I think it's hard for me now to, like, I do it, but it's in a very different way, and I just didn't grow up with that culture, so I think Black History Month is, like, I'm just now starting to, like, recognize it and just, like, oh my god, the cats are actually going crazy. Like, what are we doing? It's literally 10 o'clock at night. What are we doing? Anyways, so I think it's just, I think it's hard for me. I like to celebrate it. I think it's really great. I just don't think in my family, like, black culture is, like, it's not that it's not appreciated. It's just, like, I guess you could say that stereotypical black, like, type of stuff is just not how my family, so it's just kind of weird, but yeah, but guys, it's a new year, it's not a new me, but it can be a new year, new you, so, cause I'm not changing myself, cause why am I gonna change myself when a whole entire new year started? They don't control me, I do what I want. So, one thing this year I do want to work on is, like, not giving any fricks. So, I think a lot of things about me is, and I think this could apply to anyone, is, okay, have I done it this year? Yes. But just because the year started doesn't mean that we can't restart our goals. So, one thing about me is, like, I care about what people think about just me and just stuff. I take it way too deep. And I might not show it, but I really do. Like, I'm a very, very crazy overthinker and analyzer. And so I just really, I just really can't. Like, it's just hard for me to grasp things. And I think it's hard for me to get over things unless I have another distracting me from the previous problem or situation. Or if, like, that person, or whatever the situation is, usually involving a person, almost always, like, reassures me and, like, whatever it needs to happen, like, I don't think I can move past it, and it's always going to be the back of my mind. And I think when I get in the states of, like, just, like, caring so much about what people think about me, and, like, just think about, like, when I, like, their thoughts, I just get in a really bad place, and I just, like, go in, like, my little shell. because that's all I have on my mind. And so I think it's, like, hard. And I don't know if, like, anyone else experiences this too. But, like, okay, another thing about me that I've, like, realized. And I think the only reason that I realized this is because of, like, being around. I think this like, 2023 into 2024. I think, especially, like, the past 7 months, I think I've met people and, like, been around people that, like, have helped me realize a lot of things that aren't normal. But I always thought were normal. Like, one thing that I, like, have realized and, like, I'm kind of coming to, like, a conclusion is my room is, like, kind of small because my bed is a queen, but the frame, like, makes it, like, a King California size because it's like a wooden frame. It's like, you know those princess beds you had when, like, you were younger? And, like, you could drape the stuff. I have that, but it's, like, huge wooden chunks. And it's just, like, that. So my room is really small. And then my dresser is also with that wood. So it's, like, super small. And so I have a TV. And I don't ever use it. I think the last time I used it when I used to play Minecraft on my Nintendo. But when I sleep, I like to have darkness. Like, I'm a very, like, I can sleep in the dark. I can sleep anywhere, but when I go to sleep, when I'm going to sleep, I like to sleep in the dark, so everything's off, or, like, very light, like, I was gonna say light sound, like, light, so, because I have, like, a lamp, because, like, my room doesn't have, like, you know, like, you switch the, like, the switch, and it turns, I don't have that. I don't have, like, a light in my room, so I had to, like, put a lamp. And my lamp, all of my light bulbs in my room are Alexa, like, whatever, like, LED, whatever you call it. And so I just asked my Alexa to turn it on to certain colors, and, like, it just turns, like, it's LED, so it can turn any color. So sometimes I'll sleep with, like, purple on, like, just a light, subtle purple. But when I sleep, I don't like to have a lot of light, and so I usually put my iPad, or usually my phone, I usually prop it up next to me, whatever. Oh my god, if I go on one more time, I'm actually gonna cry. Anyways, I'm just, like, really tired. Anyways, so I, like, set it up, and I always have to watch something, and it can't be something I have not watched before, but it has to be something I've watched over again. So, like, right now I'm, like, rewatching Grey's Anatomy, and so I just put it up, and I think that I don't think I can ever go to sleep without, like, sound. Like, I need something to distract me while I go to sleep. And, like, I know a lot of people, like, think of, like, scenarios in their head, but I can't even do that because I think the second that I'm left with silence enough, I start going through just really bad thoughts, and it's, like, not good. And I kind of go through that, like, 12 stages of whatever, and I just kind of, like, go through everything, and I think of everything bad in my life, and just, like, it just is, like, a recap of everything bad in my head, and, like, then, like, at that point, it's, like, I can't, after that, like, having it in my brain, it's just, like, I can't distract myself, and so I just try not to think about it, if that makes sense, and, like, my conscience just, like, when I sleep, and I didn't realize that, like, it wasn't normal for people to go to sleep without sound, like, some people just genuinely are like, okay, I'm gonna close my eyes and go to sleep, and, like, I tried doing that, and I cannot do it, like, it's actually hard for me to do, and I've tried to go to sleep with music instead of, like, TV, because it does keep me up a little bit, but that makes it worse because it still, like, provides that sound and that space for me to just have those thoughts in my mind, and it's just so bad. Like, I just don't know why, but I never realized that, like, that wasn't a normal thing. And so that's, like, a lot of the reason, even though some people don't believe me, that's a lot of reason my screen time is so high, is because I leave my phone propped up and, like, Netflix or Hulu or whatever I have on stays on for, like, while I sleep. Not the whole time, but it, like, won't turn off. Like, especially if it's just, like, that continuous playing, autoplay. So, yeah. But, like, I kind of just realized that, like, earlier, I'm not getting on, earlier, oh my god, oh my god, I'm so tired. Anyways, but I just realized that last year, which was kind of crazy. But I wanted to come on here and try to give you guys dating advice. Like, okay, do not, okay, this is like, okay, with me, I've never been in, like, a serious relationship, I guess you could say, and I really want to, but I don't. like, I don't really go and look for people to talk to like, get in a relationship. I just would rather just, like, be friends. And, like, I think that I do want that relationship, but I'm a very independent person, and I kind of just don't, it's, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like, I want that person to, like, do cute couple things with, and, like, watch movies together and have that person. And I feel like I can have that person without dating them, but I feel like when you date them, it's just a different type of love. And I've never really had that, and I don't know how to express it. And one thing with me is, like, I'm very, very, very scared of rejection. And so I like to tell myself when I like someone, or if I talk to someone, that I don't like them, knowing that I do. But then it makes it so bad to them, because I just come off very sarcastically mean. That's just how I am. And, like, you should be able to tell, like, if I actually hate you or not. Like, I just come off mean. That's just how I am. And it's so bad because I do that to so many people that I've liked before in the past. And then, like, when I realize it, and then I sit back and I'm told, like, by my friends, I'm like, oh, like, I messed up. Like, I was deluded because, like, they liked me, but I just kind of pushed the thought of them, like, they're never gonna like me back. I like them, but they're never gonna like me back, so I can't like them. And I push that so, like, far back that when they do like me, I kind of it just flies over my head. And it's so bad because I could be in a relationship, and, like, if you want to be in a relationship, do not do that. Like, that is the worst thing to do. And it's so hard to do, but we perceive ourselves so much worse than we are. And so just because, like, yeah, you see yourself in the mirror, but, like, no one than, like, your friends and your family and your teachers or whoever, really, they see the you, like, the true you. Kind of, don't take that word for it. You guys know what I mean. But I think for a lot of the time that people, if you do, like, self-sabotage, or, like, when you're talking to people, is, like, you really have to give yourself that higher standard instead of bringing yourself down more, because believe me, you are way prettier than you think you are. You're way this than you, like, you way are a lot more than you think you are. We just like to push ourselves down because I think it's hard for a lot of people to, like, some people do think, oh, I'm the prettiest, whatever, and, like, that's fine. That's great. But I think a lot of people have that mentality of, like, I'm not good enough, or, like, you try to bring yourself down because if you do get rejected, then at least you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, because you're like, oh, I know because I'm not this, I'm not that. But, like, in reality, if you act like you are and just have a little bit more confidence, I'm sure it'll help. But that's just me, and I've never really, like, been in a serious relationship, and, like, I think for me it's hard because I'm, like, genuinely kind of scared of commitment a little bit. So, sorry, my mom is, I'm telling you guys, I cannot multitask. Like, I can, but I can't. Like, my thoughts are just too all over the place. So, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, but I think that it also just depends on the people. I think that people nowadays try to rush into relationships so quickly and so hard because they feel obligated that they should, and you shouldn't have to feel that way. And just know that you can have that person in a not a romantic way, and they can still be that person, if that makes sense. Sorry. And I think a lot of people nowadays, especially in, like, my generation, like, from, like, the age of, like, I'm gonna even say 13 to, like, 18, just try to immediately find someone like them. And then, actually, I'm sorry, backtrack. Let me do it this way, because this is exactly how I feel like people in high school, like, date people, and, like, they first go, oh, I want that person to be my girlfriend, or, oh, I like them. No idea who they are, or you have a crush on them. Talk to them maybe a week, and I don't mean talk. I meant, like, talk as in friends. Aren't really friends. Immediately start talking, and then you realize, okay, whatever. You don't really like them, but you're forcing yourself to like them because you want that girlfriend, that boyfriend, whatever. Then you date, you ask them, and you're like, okay, well, I don't really like them like that, but, like, and then it's, like, that month after, like, just, like, into your final, like, oh, I like them. And it's just, like, it shouldn't be like that. I think it should be the way opposite. I think that also, I think that people in our generation now try to, like, date people that they aren't friends with. And I think it's hard in both ways, because I feel like, I'm not saying you have to know someone for 8 years, then ask them out or whatever. But I think that you need to know someone on the friend level before you know them on the romantic level. Because I feel like there's a lot that comes out when you're dating someone that you should already know when you're, like, before, like, while you were friends, instead of finding out, like, while you're dating them. And I think also being friends with someone and then dating them after, instead of dating and then becoming friends and knowing each other, is so, it just creates a better and healthier relationship, I feel like. Or, like, I can't say for myself, but I'm just saying based on, like, stuff, whatever. I just think it's better, and I know it's hard to, like, because, like, you don't want to mess that friendship up, but I think that if you are both mature enough, and I think that if you both, I'm not going to say love each other, because, like, whatever, but I think if you both genuinely like being around each other, that if you were to break up, and it was both, like, mutual, whatever, if it wasn't, like, a really bad breakup, that you should be able to be friends, because I feel like if you are dating someone and you guys aren't friends, then what are you? Like, it just doesn't match with me. I think that you need to be, because in the name, there's girlfriend, boyfriend. I feel like you need to be friends, and I feel like that's a lot of the reason why people, like, complain about not having that, and I think it's just hard. And then I think with just, like, everything with just phones, and just, like, people, like, I think a lot of people find it hard to date someone because they want to be independent, they want to be their own person, and it's just, like, it's hard, it just depends on the person, but, like, that's just my advice. I think you should be friends with someone before you date them, but, like, that's just me. But, yeah, and, like, guys, this goes out to, okay, I guess this goes out to everyone, but, like, I just say to guys because, like, I don't want to be that stereotypical girl that's, like, oh, the guy buys this, buys that, but, like, let's be so for real. You know, if you're a girl, but you know you want to get those flowers from the boys. And Valentine's Day is coming up, guys. We have 11 days. This will probably, whatever. It's February 3rd. There's 11 days. You have enough time to go to Walmart, go to Target, wherever you need to go, and get some candy, get a teddy bear, and some flowers. It's really not that hard, guys. Like, I know you have the $10. Like, or you don't have to spend $10. You can just get her a bouquet. Or even a homemade gift is even way better. And I think that if you like someone or you want to ask someone to be their Valentine, I think you guys should ask them and just be bold. Because 2024 should be 2024 the plot. And I think you should do for the plot. And hey, if you get rejected, this sounds so bad, but the worst they can say is no. But at least if you get rejected, at least you know. And, like, you don't have to waste your time with them and having that thought in your brain and being the little delusional girly boy twirling your hair when they text you and it's literally just for homework answers. So I'm just trying to help you guys out so you guys aren't getting that heartbreak right on Valentine's Day or before. And if you don't know if they're going to say yes, don't do it in front of them in school. Don't do it in person. Or just be smart, because don't embarrass yourself even more. I'm sorry, because that's embarrassing. So, yeah. But anyways, sidetrack from that. So, I want to talk about the trolley problem. So, I love this problem so much. So, there's this book that my mom got me. I think I already talked about this beginning of 9th grade year, and it's What Do We Owe to Each Other. I think I've read that book 13 times. And it's just so good. It's just philosophical. And I love discussing the trolley problem with people, and, like, I think there's so many ways to look at it, and, like, I've tried to look at it in, like, every time when someone's like, okay, well, what would you do? I always try to give that, like, philosophical answer, but I think it's so cool just to, like, okay, I'm gonna explain the trolley problem really quick, because I don't know if, like, everybody knows it. So, basically, there's a train, right? And so, it's on, like, a one-way track, but there's a two-split track. So, the train is, and you're a bystander, and so right beside the train, there's a switch. So, the train is currently about to curve and go right, let's say, and there's 5 people trapped to the track and they can't get up. And then the other way can go straight, which the train is not originally going, and there's only one person on the track. and you're a bystander, and the switch can switch it to where it goes from the 5-person track to the 1-person track. So that's just the trolley problem, and it's like, what would you do in that situation? So most people, their first thought is going to be, I'm going to flip that switch because I would rather kill 1 person than 5. My first question I ask them is always, why does 5 lives value over 1? And this is not even just without, like, knowing, you don't know if you know the people, you don't know anything. It's just people. And I think that, in a way, yes, 5 people can value more than 1, but then you also have to look at it the way, okay, if I'm a bystander and I pull that switch, I've immediately killed 1 person. Because if I'm a bystander and I just let it happen, that's not on me. It's not my fault that people were strapped to the train. It's not that. But I do get people's argument of, killing that 1 person. But then there's also the other one. What if it's the same thing, but instead of switching the track, there's a bridge above the track, and there's let's just say, like, the example is, like, usually a bigger person, a fat man or whatever, and you push him over, and he must be, like, whatever, and he can stop the train, but you killed 1 person, and so, but then you could save 6, technically. And there's so many different, like, types of this, like, there's the surgery one, there's, like, okay, well, what if, like, Hitler was on it, like, yada, yada, yada. And I think it's just cool to see, because there really is no, I mean, if you look at it with, like, difference, so, like, if you look at, like, a utilitarianism, you're obviously going to want to switch the tracks because you're trying to save it for the most people, for the population. But if you look at it with this, you look at that, and I think it's just so cool to look at it, and I think it's just cool to see, like, day-to-day people, like, not I'm gonna say civilians, but, like, just people that don't really know what the trolley problem is or looked into it. I think it's super cool to see, like, them and then explain it, and they're always like, well, 5 people value more than 1, but then, like, okay, what if we would do this example? What if there's a kid that's 13 or 10 years old on the track, or a baby, let's say, a newborn baby, but there's 5 people that are 99 years old about to die? Which one do you save? And just yada, yada, yada. And then just hearing people's, like, not excuses, but it's like, well, what if that 1 person had, like, cured cancer? What if this, that, and third? And I think it's just so cool to see that, and I love that problem so much. Like, I've watched so many... The cats keep running back and forth. I just keep seeing so many, like, people, like, so many documentaries. I've watched so many documentaries about it, and I just love it so much. I think it's so cool, and I just love, like, philosophical and ethical questions like that. I just think it's, like, a cool thing to, like, talk about, and I feel like, yeah, I just love having, like, not even deep talks. I love just talking about random things with people, and, like, I try to do it on the podcast, but obviously there's no response. But I love talking to my friends about just, like, it doesn't even have to be, like, crazy deep things. But, like, I think it's just crazy. I think it's just crazy to talk. And, like, I want to propose this question. I don't know if I'm saying it right. But, so I saw this question on TikTok, or, like, oh, yeah, okay. So we had a night where, like, a bunch of, like, it was, like, my immediate family, and then, like, yeah. We had this night where we played, like, Cards Against Humanity, and, like, we all made, like a salad bar and, like, a really good dinner, and then we played games, and, like, I remember we were playing, like, okay, we just ask a question, so anybody can ask whatever question they want, and then everybody has to go around and respond, and what the response would be. And so, of course, like, we all, like, would ask, like, whatever, like, just random questions, but then we started getting to, like, those deep, just, like, not silly questions, but just, like, just what's your thoughts? And I think one of them I asked was, like, would you, I can hear my mom, would you, I think, okay, trying to think, I'm pretty sure it's, would you rather be able to love or to be loved? Or, like, if you could only choose one, so, like, would you rather only be able to love people, or would you only rather be loved by people? And I think, for me, I'd rather have the ability to love people, because I think for me, when people say, oh, I love you, I think that term is thrown around so much that, like, I just don't trust it per se. And I think, there's different parts of, like, me or, like, my friends have done something, like, wow, like, they really care about me. And I'm not gonna say they love me, but I can tell that they genuinely have that, like, care for me, and I know that they, care about me. And I just love asking those questions, and, like, I love asking them with, like, my sisters and brothers because they're, like, older than me, because I'm the youngest, but, like, a lot older than me. And so I think it's just cool to see their take on it. And I think it's even cool to see my 13-year-old niece's take on it. Like, she's just so much mature and just sees, like, things so differently. And I just find it, like, so funny. Or not funny, I find it so cool. Oh my god, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can hear the water, like, draining through our pipes. But, yeah. I just love talking about that type of stuff. I think it's just so cool. And, yeah, I think it's just so cool. There's this one question, I don't know what it is. I cannot think of it for the, like, life of me. It's such a good question. It's such a good question. I can't find it. I don't know. It's, like, on TikTok. But I love philosophical questions. Like, they are just so... Not even philosophical. Just, like, questions that, like, no one asks. And then it's, like, you ask and you're like, whoa. Like, you just kind of sit back. And you're just like, oh, dang. You're just like, oh. Like, you just kind of sit there and you're like... You just think. You're just like, dang. You're literally just like, okay. Yeah. But, like, I don't know. It's just, like, life is just, I don't even know. It's just life. Like, I think that we, like, genuinely not even trying to be, like, weird, like, or cringy or whatever. I think I even do this. I think we take life for granted so much, and I think we perceive, like, I don't know, me, I don't perceive as, like, every day is a new day. I kind of just perceive as, like, every day bleeding to the other, and I really wish that I would see every day as a new day, and I think it's hard to do that, but... You know, I envy the people that are able to do that because I think that life is genuinely so short. Like, average of 80, 75 years, whatever, is really not that much amount of time when the first 18 of years are you trying to find yourself and then or going through school and trying to be the best and trying to find those friends. And then as soon as you turn 18, it's like everything's going to change, yada, yada, yada. But then it's like after 18, like, you still are trying to find yourself. Like, and I think that we as people just try so much to, like, focus on that we miss so many small parts. And I think there's so many of, like, I think health and stuff is very important, but I think there's so much standards, like, oh, I need to be skinny, I need to be perfect, I need to be pretty, I need to find a boyfriend. I knew that is that we speed up life so much that we miss so many small moments in our life. And, like, I think, like, today I went to the bookstore and just looking back at all the books I read as my child, like, I miss it. And it's like, I hate that as a child, like right now I cannot remember that much of being a child, and I just miss that. And I wish if I could go back to being born and do it all over again, like, I would. Like, I think we as people just really take everything for granted, and you don't know whether or not you are gonna see the next day. And I think for me, that just comes from, like, I think it's just, like, me as a person. I feel like I've matured, and I feel like ever since, like, the last few years, I think just, like, something in my, like, brain switched, and my perspective changed from being, like, to the side to the, like, a little bit more towards the center. And I think that is the exact same that happens, maybe not for everyone, but I feel like as a child, you know, we're more left leaning, you know, we're looking to the side, we're only focusing about the new toy coming out, or you gotta get, like, who am I chasing at recess, who's gonna blah blah. And then every year we get older, then we more start to focus into where when you're, and I think that's why when people are 30, 35 have that midlife crisis, because they're almost basically at that center and they're starting to see both sides of it. And I think that's, like, the craziest thing to see is like at the beginning of your life, you're on the left side. As you veer into the middle, you're 35, you're having that midlife crisis because you can see that past and you can almost see that future of you getting old, you having to do this, you having to do that. And then as past that 35, you start to veer into the side to where your perspective is a little bit wider, I guess you could say, because you're able to see your midlife crisis and childhood, but then you're getting so much closer to the end of your life that your perspective closes in a little bit, and like you start to hurry up, and it's like you start to finish. You want to finish all the goals, life goals you have. And I think that we as people don't realize that is like we should really value I feel like we should value more of every part of our life a lot more, just because I feel like time goes so quickly, like, and I think I've realized that just like me almost turning 17 and like almost leaving and graduating high school. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just remember yesterday, like when I was in kindergarten. Like it's just like crazy. And like I think the older you get, the more it's like you want to become that adult, you want that freedom. But it's like when you start getting those milestone steps in your life, like you walked, you crawled, you walked, you talked, you took your first test, you did this, you did that, you get your license, you move out, you go to college, and it's like that wave of just that mid perspective coming closer and closer is just like, I don't know, maybe it's me, it's like I find it very refreshing, but I find it so scary because I'm like, for me, I feel like I have not done that much with my life, and I feel disappointed in myself of not taking advantage of every day and every last minute of my life. And I think just like life in general is so hard that it's hard to do that, but then at the same time it's like if you can realize that you are wasting time in your life, that you should do something about it. But it's just so hard not to, especially I feel like when you just like, I don't know, it's just hard. Like, and I feel like that's a great way to look at life, is that little veering. And I feel like that 35 midlife crisis is that perspective. And I think that the reason in our, or not in our 20s, but in your 20s and between like that 18 to 25, 26, people go crazy and they whatever. Sorry, I cannot text. Sorry, I cannot text. But I think overall in the end, I think what you should take out of this podcast today, because I'm at 40 minutes and y'all are not listening to me at this much, I think we should just start, I think just in the back of your mind, every time you sit down to scroll, and I'm going to try this because I'm really bad for this. I don't know why I'm telling y'all to do this when I know dang well it's 10:23 and I know I'm going to be up till 1 a.m. scrolling on TikTok. But I want the next time you sit down with friends, or you do your schoolwork, or you whatever, watch a movie, just think about that time, and if you want to spend it there or somewhere else. Like I think every time before you do something and saying, oh, what should I do today? Be like, oh, I have 24 or I have 12 hours left in this day. How am I gonna make it last? How am I, when I go to sleep tonight, I can tell myself, wow, that was a really good day, and I felt like tomorrow can be an even better day. And I feel like I genuinely used my time, because at the end of the day, it's your time. You're the person, and you are having time on that little time clock. It's your time clock. Your alarm clock is going to go off who knows when. And so it's no one else's time. It's only your time. And it's only what you do with it. No one can make you do anything, to an extent. But no one can make you do anything because it's your time and it's your time clock. And so what you do with it is on you. And you cannot blame anyone else for that. And so I think that if you take that into account a little bit more, I think it'll overall just help you lean in more to that middle perspective faster, and then realize and get everything you want to do done in those life goals just like better. So yeah, but that's it for today, because I've been a D1 apper for 41 minutes. I only wanted to do 30 because I don't really know how long you guys actually listen, and looking at my retention rates, it goes down. So hopefully you guys at least listen to this part where you get the little life lesson. But if you haven't already and you listen to this podcast, make sure you follow my Instagram. It's Mason's Manifesto. And yeah, and I post like comments and stuff, and if you want to hear me talk about anything, I post it. So I hope you guys like this podcast. Bye.